Rooster Tail Talk, the podcast dedicated to everything about the sport that we all love, hydroplane racing. I am your host, David Newton, and it's time once again, so sit back, relax, and welcome Rooster Tail Talk. Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the podcast. Today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026, and this is episode 192. Now, I hope you had a great weekend and enjoyed Seafair. There was a lot of delays with the racing on the water. There were some things outside of H1 and the Grand Prix America's control that led to some of those delays. There was some weird weather patterns. One of the days the Blue Angels was canceled, which I don't ever remember the Blue Angels having a canceled performance at Seafair due to weather. It was an interesting weekend, but I had a great time. There was some great racing on the water, and unfortunately, it's over now. It's the couple days after Seafair, and for me as a kid, that always brought that nasty S word up front and present of school. And I guess as an adult, I'm a teacher now, and I have that summer scary for school on the horizon. But I wish we had more racing closer than in over a month down in San Diego. I wish there was another race to look forward to in the near present future, but it is what it is, and we have to wait some time for the next race. So I thought I would go through the archives and dig out a classic race from Seafair's gone by, the 1987 Seafair presents Budweiser Cup. This was an interesting race because this is one of those last races where there was open cockpits and enclosed cockpits and so many different variations of hull designs and motors being used. There was Allison's, turbocharged Allison's, Merlin engines, various types of turbine engines being used. And there was some huge sponsors in the sport with Budweiser, Miller Brewing, Pringles, Old Boy Roberto. Even had some local sponsors like Pietro's Pizza, which was my favorite as a kid, KSW The Rock, Jackpot Food Mart. So there's some big money being put into the sport back in this time. And before I talk more about this episode, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Laurie Marlow. And I'm very grateful that she has shared so many of those audios from over the years. And this is one that was in her digital library. So thank you, Laurie, for saving these. And thank you for sharing these so other fans can enjoy just like you and I are with these races. Now, I had to cut some of it short. There was some great race banter with Pat O'Day, but the audio was just too poor, I thought, for it to be used for this episode. So instead, it's shortened down, but it does have that Thunderbolt radio broadcast from the announcers Jim Hendricks and Don Poyer. With that race broadcast, it's going to talk a little bit about the testing and qualifying at the beginning with Jim Hendricks. He's got a great interview with Jim Kropfeld, and it's going to have that radio broadcast for the final heat with some interviews afterwards from Jim Kropfeld again, but also the owner, Bernie Little, as well as Circus representative Mel Larson, who wasn't a sponsor in the sport, didn't have a boat at that time, but they were looking to come back in 1988. All right, so that's enough of me yapping and and digressing about this race. Let's jump in and listen to that radio broadcast of the 1987 Seafair presents the Budweiser Cup on Lake Washington.
Hello, everybody. This is the sixth race of the year, the Budweiser Emerald Cup here in Seattle, Washington, on a 2-mile course, the smallest course that the unlimited hydroplanes have raced on since the Mountain Two-Thirds in the season opener at Miami back in the middle of June. Top qualifier, and no surprise, would be Miss Budweiser with Jim Kropfeld from Cincinnati. We'll be talking to Jim, check the field down, which is, by the way, the largest of the season, in this, the sixth race of 1987, here in the city of Seattle. But first, let's take this time out. Popeye. Back here on Lake Washington in Seattle, Jim Hendrick, along with another Jim Kropfeld from Cincinnati. Jim, the Miss Budweiser, running pretty good this year. You only lost one race. That was in Detroit. That's 4 out of 5. Not too shabby.
Not too bad at all. The crew's done a magnificent job on this boat. It's taken us about 2 years to design and build it, and the guys did it right there in the shop. here in Seattle, and the boat's just fantastic. It runs, it does anything that you want it to do. It turns, it goes straight, it just does the job.
Jim, what about the 2-mile course? Now, you had a mile and 2/3 the first race of the year, but you're now running longer shoots of 2.5-mile courses. Will you set the boat up differently for this? Because I think the turns come up a lot faster.
Well, we'll have to here. Every race course seems to be different. You think you could run the same setup, but you can't. Here we hit the long straightaways, even though it's a 2-mile course, because the turns are so tight. And we won't be able to go into these turns 160 like we did at Pasco or Detroit. But we have to slow down quite a bit, and I think the competition speeds are going to be down in the 120s probably.
You see, the Miss Budweiser seems to, of course, all racing teams, they have a real good year and then a couple of bad years, and they have a good year. It seems like it's a cycle.
It seems that way. It looks like this is our year. Last year, even though we won the championship, we only won 3 races, and I really had to fight the boat, and the guys really had to work hard, and I think we all learned some pretty good lessons on what really a race boat should be over the last couple of years, and now it looks like Chip is having his bad luck, and we're having our good luck, and I don't know, like you say, it runs in cycles.
Jim Kropfeld, who's your national high point champion, defending, and also has a leg up on the national championship for the 2nd year in a row. With this, the 6th race of 1987, we thank Jim Kropfeld, driver of Miss Budweiser, for his time. We'll be back, run down the field, after this from your local sponsor.
Cool and feeling cool.
Here on Lake Washington in Seattle, the top qualifier, Miss Budweiser, 139.8. The Miller American, Chip Hanover, 130.7. Mr. Pringles with Scott Pierce at 121.6. Oh Boy Alberto with George Woods at 120.4. Pietro Pizza, Todd Yarling at 113.9. Frank Kenny Toyota, Miller Irvin, 112.5. Whole set Miss Madison, Ron Snyder, 109.9. Miss Crab Legs with Ron Armstrong at 109.5. Miss Rock KISW, Jack Berry at 103.6. Rapid Transit with Mitch Evans at 102.7. Miss Jackpot with Jerry Hop at 101.9. Still to qualify the Tempest, Deco Aviation, and JM Cafe. So there are 14 boats in the pits, 11 have qualified. More coming from here in Seattle tomorrow. This is Jim Hendricks. So long. Clear blue skies, deep blue Lake Washington water, and the snow-capped Cascade Mountains, led by Mount Rainier, set the scene for today's 6th race of 1987 for Unlimited Thunderboats. Today, here in Seattle, Washington, it's the Budweiser Emerald Cup for 14 of the fastest race boats in the world. I'm Jim Hendricks. We'll set the scene for each 1A and 1B here in the Great Northwest after this timeout. Back here on Lake Washington, 12 of the 14 boats have qualified, and here's the way they'll set for Heat 1A. The Miss Budweiser with Jim Kropfeld, top qualifier at 139.8. Of course, the Budweiser winner of 4 of the first 5 races this year. Sea Galleys Miss Crab Legs from Southern California, the driver, Ron Armstrong, 109.7. George Woods, a rookie in the Old Boy Alberto at 120.4. Bill Irvin in the Frank Kenny Toyota Volvo Mazda at 112.5. Pietro's Pizza, Todd Yarling, the driver, at 114.9. And the whole set, Miss Madison, Ron Snyder, at 112.2. Heat 1B will be the Rapid Transit with Mitch Evans at 102.7. The Miller American with Chip Hanover, the second highest qualifier this week at 130.7. Jack Berry, the rookie at Miss Rock KISW at 109.7. And Scott Pierce, winner at Detroit, checking in with Mr. Pringles for this one at 121.6. Jerry Hop at 106.0 in the Miss Jackpot Food Mart. And qualifying early this morning to make the field, the Tempest U-17 with Jack Schaefer. We'll have a final word and check the crowd and check the action of this, the 6th race of 1987 after this. From your local on Lake Washington in Seattle. Over 350,000 fans are expected, dignitaries from the city of Seattle, the state of Washington. Also corporate vice president of Circus, and also with their brand new location in Colorado, Bill. Is also on hand. His name is Mel Larson. He is sure here to see the race for the first time this year. 350,000 fans, thousands of boats on the long boom on the back shore, and nothing but a sea of faces on the shore on this side of a beautiful scenic great northwestern city of Seattle. My name is Jim Hendrick, and don't forget, we'll have throughout the day reports on the station and our half-hour program of all the exciting action, play-by-play of the championship heat from starting gun to checker flag right here on this spot on the dial. From Seattle, this is Jim Hendrick. So long. Here's Jim Hendrick. Now what's going down the pits now? I see one of the boats came back in toward you.
I believe that's the Old Boy Alberto just heading out. One of those very few Berlin engine-powered boats
heading out with George Woods, the rookie, back out on the course. And that's less than 2 minutes to go. Less than 2 minutes to go to the start of the race. He's cutting it close. A little drama. Here's our final field. It'll be the Miller American with Chip Hanauer with 800 points today. Mr. Pringles with Scott Pierce with 700. Oh boy, Alberto, as Don told you, just going out. George Woods at the wheel with 600. Miss Budweiser, Jim Kropfeld, 569. Miss Seagaley, Ron Armstrong at 394. Miss Rock with Jack Berry at 394. First alternate, as reported by Don Poyer, is Miller Urban, the Frank Kenny Toyota Volvo, and he is out there right now. That's the way they stand as the boats are out on the course. It has been a beautiful day. We have over 300,000 people. The log boom from end to end on the back chute completely loaded up. I think those people could walk down across the boats and visit somebody a block down and never hit water. I was just watching everyone stalk each other, and right now the Miller American and the Pringles are out in front of the back chute waiting for the Budweiser to appear. What do you see from your vantage point? I see the 1 minute gun is fired, and the Miller American along with the... Well, see, Miller American's in lane 1 coming up the back chute. We're under the 1 minute gun. It's Mr. Pringles followed in lane number 3 by Miss Budweiser. Seagaley, Miss Seagaley's fourth up there. Followed by, let's put our binoculars on, check that boat out, is the old boy Oberto. And also the Frank Kenny Toyota is following the field. He'll count. If he sees there's 6 boats out there, he will return to the pits and follow the field and come down towards you. Right now, as we look at we have 28 seconds to go. The boats are in the apex of corners number 3 and 4. It looks like Miller American still wants lane number 1, and he does, as Chip Hanauer wants to go wide, but now he ducks in. Miss Seagaley is in lane number 2. Oh boy, Alberto, lane number 3. Miss Rock in lane 4. Pringles way on the outside in lane 5, and Miss Budweiser coming from way back in the pack, and a great flying start in 6th place with 5, 4, 3, 2. He's going to hit the money. It's Budweiser right on the money with a flying start way deep in the pack. It looks like a Bill Muncy start from years and years ago. It's Budweiser. Oh, he went up in his right spot as he comes down to you, Don.
A beautiful start by Jim Kropfeld. It was just like the late Bill Muncy. Coming around on the outside, full throttle, everybody else way back, and he's into the turn before everybody else. He is going past the exit buoy down the back chute before the Miller even gets there. It is just hitting it right now. That's how big the lead is. Better than, 2 rooster tails. What a start by Kropfeld.
At least 10 boat length lead as a half a lap is expired. Here in the final heat, Miss Budweiser with Jim Kropfeld in the corner number 3. Hangs it on the hook as the rooster tail starts to rise off the skid fin. He's in the apex of the corner. The first speed, Mr. Pringles is now down and lost power. Pringles is down in the back chute and has lost power. Second place is the Miller. Third in the first lap is Mr. Oh boy, Alberto. Also Miss Rock. And that's the way they stand as the Budweiser has just completed lap number 1 with about a 3.5-second lead over the second place. Miller American is down to you, Don.
It has been a long time since anyone has seen a start like that. Jim Kropfeld more than making up for an earlier heat. He was way outside, full throttle, just a beautiful start. He is just leaving the turn as the Miller goes into it right now. A full third lead, better than a third, almost a half a straightaway lead. That's incredible by the Budweiser. And Alberto just coming by me now, Jim going into turn 1 and 2.
All right, here's the way they stand as the first lap for Budweiser is 138.915. 138.915 as he comes down and completes lap number 2. He has about a 10-second lead over the second place Miller American with Chip Hanauer, who likewise has about a 15-second lead over the rest of the field, led by Oh boy, Alberto with the rookie George Woods, and also another rookie, Jack Berry, in the KISW, and the Miss Seagaley with Ron Armstrong is floating in the infield. He's out of the race, as is Mr. Pringles floating dead on the back chute, not doing anything but the driver, Scotty Pierce, is watching. Here comes the leader towards you, Don.
Well, that should be, if the Budweiser holds on, that'll be victory. I believe, 61 for Bernie Little. And that was an impressive start. I can't get over it.
He went so deep. He went up like he wanted to be in lane number 3, and everybody turned, and he kept going down deep. They all had to slow down, and he had like a Bill Muncy start. He had it nailed from way back there, and he didn't even let his foot off the gas. And as that gunfire he was whipping across, everybody then started to get on the accelerator. By that time, he was long gone and towards you in corner number 1. Well, here it is, as the Budweiser coming around to complete lap number 3, out 5 in this championship of the Budweiser Emerald Cup, 1987 in Seattle. First place is the Budweiser going through some rough water, bouncing around. Second place, as the Budweiser comes off the exit pin, corner number 4, just going into corner number 3, is the second place, Miller American. And third place to Old Boy Alberto, fourth to Miss Rock, KISW. The Pringles and the Seagaley are out of the race. They will not finish as the leader comes down towards you, Don. Jim, I can just hear the fans here in Seattle say it now, because they are used to seeing a start like that by the late Bill Muncy, who used to do that. But sometimes in the old days, back in the 40s, 50s, they used to come out from under the floating bridge down there. They'd hide out there and come flying down near the shore. Reminiscent of that was Jim Kropfeld with that great start, and that made all the difference in the world, because the Miller is running very well. But with that start, wow, what can you say? White having the Budweiser, lap number 1. Lap number 2, 127. Lap number 3, 128.5. And here comes our third-place boat coming by us now. And that is the boat by Alberto with George Woods as our leader. With one more lap to go, this will be the green flag lap. He'll complete 4 of 5. Budweiser swings out with Jim Kropfeld from Cincinnati, Ohio. Comes out at about lane number 2. He takes the green flag, showing one more lap to go. And Jim Kropfeld will have just about cleaned the slate, losing only in Detroit to Mr. Pringles after winning in Miami, Evansville, Madison, Tri-Cities, and looks like less than a lap to go, Don. He's got this one. What do you think? He's got it wrapped up. That would be 5 out of 6 for 1987. I think the National Points race can be put to bed. Let's face it, folks. That boat is running so beautifully. It has raised the limited hydroplane to a new level. Don, well, he just lost to Miss Rocky SW floating right down beside me, and he is right across from us, and he's going to be out of this race also. So only 3 of the 6 boats are running at this time. The Budweiser, first, second place to Miller American, third to the rookie George Woods in Old Boy Alberto. Jim Harvey's boat, they've done a whale of a job since joining us last week in Tri-City, Washington. And it'll be awarded 4th place to KSW because he was the last to break. Now here he comes, George Woods in Old Boy Alberto. Gets the green flag with one more lap to go. And for the 5th time in 6 races, Miss Budweiser, the 61st victory for Bernie Little, and the 5th victory for Jim Kropfeld of 6 races this year. He takes the checker flag and he wins the Emerald Cup, Budweiser Emerald Cup here in Seattle. Don? Well, hats off to that big red, white, gold, beautiful Budweiser boat. Like I said, Bernie Little and that crew has raised hydroplane racing to a new level. And it's only a matter of time now to see how the other crews and other boat camps will try to close that gap, because it is simply sensational. And keep in mind, the Miller American was running very, very well today. And it's not a case of everybody not running all that professionally or well. They're doing extremely well. It's the Budweiser is so much better as he goes out now, going very close to the log boom of the back chute for his victory lap. And Jim Kropfeld, you deserve it. Why don't you go down and get him and bring him to our microphone as soon as you can, Don? Meanwhile, we'll tell everybody along the network line from coast to coast that we'll be back after this timeout. First, well, this is Jim Hendrick, along with Don Poyer, back here on the shores of Lake Washington in Seattle, where race number 6 of a 9-race schedule is now history at Miss Budweiser, with Jim Kropfeld still doing his parade lap, going around, and now coming in is the 3rd-place boat, Old Boy Alberto. It is going to be the Budweiser first, Miller American second, Old Boy Alberto third. Mr. Pringles is overall 5th, and Miss Seagelly Crab Legs is overall 6th in our final. And it's amazing that the Budweiser, after having been a little hooking and took in a little water and finishing 4th in the last preliminary heat, got in with 569 points, and then with a deep start, snaking everywhere. Everybody else was kind of, feeling their way to that line, watching the clock. He had it timed. He was way down, only about 5 city blocks from that bridge, and he was out in the last outside lane, about lane number 6, and he come flying Bill Muncy style. And when he hit that line, everybody else was just getting on it, and he was already down the first turn out of the first turn before they even got down there. With us right now is the Vice President of Corporate for Circus. Circus, a man who's seen many races, and he's been a former car racer. We want to say hello to Mel Larson right now. Mel, you've seen these boats before because you had a Circus entry for a while, and also you've seen them by taking our ESPN cameras up in the helicopter from time to time.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Are you enjoying the podcast and want to show your support? Well, now you can with Rooster Tail Talk Plus. This is a new subscribing service for our podcast where you can sign up for a monthly fee and help us to create and grow more content for Rooster Tail Talk. If you subscribe today, you'll get chances for monthly raffle prizes, extra content, early release to new episodes, as well as much, much more. This is a new service, and we'll be adding more to it as we move along, but your support is appreciated. As you can imagine, running a podcast can be pricey as costs increase for hosting fees, website fees, travel, equipment, and much more. With your support, you can help make sure we have new content coming to you every week and make this a better place for talking about hydroplane racing. You can find the link to be a subscriber in the bio of the episode, as well as on our website, roostertailtalk.com.
Please report the show.
Well, it was a great race today, and of course that start that Jim Kropfeld got, that was a dandy. It's reminiscent of some of my stock car racing days. We'd get a yellow flag, and if we were back in 6th, 7th, 8th place, we'd get a good run down the back straightaway and through the 3 and 4 turns to get a head start on him. But that was great to see, and of course he did a great job. And like you say, Chip Hanauer was not slow, but he just got snookered there at the start. And I think Jim Harvey's boat, the old Berto, did a great job for the problems they had earlier in the season.
No doubt about it. Now, we come right down to it. We're going to Syracuse, New York, all the way back from the great Northwest, the state of New York, Syracuse, then to San Diego, then we're coming to your town. And it's amazing. Last year when they said, well, we're going to race in Las Vegas, and I thought, well, okay. Maybe they'll get 25,000 people away from the crap tables and the slot machines. Maybe 25,000 will drive that 45-minute drive out to Lake Mead. And I understand, by official count, over 250,000 people, the largest crowd in the state of Nevada sports history. What do you think about that?
Well, it was great, and of course that was the record by the Parks Department, and they have a pretty good handle on things. So it was a true crowd. It was a great race, even though we had some problems with the weather, but it turned out great, and everybody is looking forward to the return this year, in September for the Thunderbolts.
We'll be back with more action from the Budweiser Emerald Cup, and we're waiting for the winning driver to approach our microphones after this timeout. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Budweiser winning the 5th race out of 6 for Jim Kropfeld, the driver, and Bernie Little, the owner. The average winning speed for Miss Budweiser, 124.5 mile an hour. Fastest lap number 1 at 138.9. Second place to Miller America with Chip Hanauer. Mr. Pringles had some problems. It did not finish down. The 3rd spot was taken by Old Boy Roberto with George Woods. 4th to Miss Rock, and the 5th to overall, I believe, Mr. Pringles. Let's double check that. 5th to Mr. Pringles. Then Sea Legs was overall 6th. That's the way it was. Don, what do you see down there?
I got a winner right in front of me. Jim Kropfeld, congratulations. There is a man in this town that people used to simply either love or love to hate, and that was Bill Muncy. And they loved Bill Muncy's start, and that was a vintage Bill Muncy start. Fantastic, Jim.
Well, I saw what everybody was doing, and even when I came down here with a minute and a half to go, I knew I was going to be early. I didn't have time to make a loop up, but I seen Chip go through the infield to try to get the inside, and it was still under a minute. And I had myself a timing run from way down here in the hole, and I just made myself hold it all the way up, and they were all fighting on the inside, and I just went way up in the hole and just aired the Budweiser out, and I guess I hit the line at about 185, 190 mile an hour, and it was over after the start.
We heard a lot of oohs and a lot of ahs because you did get it out of shape a little bit coming down that straightaway. Yeah. Typical Seattle racing, though, huh?
It's typical, everybody's been here, Bill Muncy, Dean Chenoweth, and everybody races on the same water. Maybe a different year, but it's always the same.
I think it might be important to point out he's got this blue scarf wrapped on his belt right here. That was one thing you didn't have when you first tested the brand new beautiful Budweiser here in May, and that was when the blowover occurred. You got it on here, and now you're coming back victorious. I know that was heavy on your mind all week.
It really was. I received this scarf last year from a very dear friend, and it signifies luck, good luck. And the only time I did not wear it since he gave it to me is when I blew over. So,
one other question, and that is basically how good, we ask this every week it seems, but how good can this boat be?
I can't imagine. I tell you, when I came down on the start and I looked down and seen about 185, and I still hit plenty of gas to the left. I couldn't believe it. And they just, even coming off the turns, I don't even push it all the way down. It's awesome. It's just that's all number 4 engine. Nothing else works. We put number 4 in. Does the job every time.
Well, you got a little rest now before you go back to Syracuse. Congratulations here, Jim.
Yeah, I can go home and go to work now.
Sort of living, would you?
Yeah, go back to a normal life.
Nice coach. Jim Kropfeld, winner here in Seattle, Jim.
All right, Don, maybe you can get the happy owner, Bernie Little, to the microphone while we take a 60-second pause for this word from your local sponsor. Today, by always, Don Poyer, and a special guest that we've been talking to and keeping stats would be the Circus Vice President, Mel Larson. Now let's go down to Don Poyer once again. I understand Bernie Little standing by. Don?
Yes, he is, Jim. We've got him with us right now. And Bernie, we were reminiscing a bit with Jim Kropfeld. People in this town used to love get on Bill Muncy. But they were used to Bill Muncy's starts, coming way down the shore, real wide, going, like what?
That's right. And Jim's been starting like that, as you've been able to see here several times, and he kind of likes that because he's got all the shoe speed he wants, and it gets him out of trouble, keeps him out of trouble. He's out wide and gives everybody plenty of room, but he just out-accelerates them and goes for it. So, needless to tell you, it's a great win for us. Our crew lives in Seattle, and this is their home, and this is yours, Don. And so we just got to have Miss Budweiser #1 in Seattle.
He said he was hitting about 185 at that start, right as the clock went to 0. That's incredible.
Yeah, and we have the computer on him, so he's telling the truth. And but it really was a thrill to see him do that, and the boat looked fantastic.
Is this officially 61 wins, I believe, something like that?
Yeah, that's 61 of them, and that also is a great thrill to me. And but I'm going to be here for a lot more, Don, and I know you will too.
Congratulations again, Bernie. Great to talk with you.
Well, great. And tell Jim Hendricks and tell everybody we said hi.
And he didn't swear, Jim. How about that?
Ask you what time the airplane leaves for
What time does the airplane leave?
6:30 out of the hotel, tell him.
There you go.
Tell him I can hear him. 6:30 nonstop to Lakeland, Florida. Okay, Don, thank you very much. We'll be back after this timeout.
Last night I saw this lady.
Very nice day weather-wise here. The Blue Angels gave us a show and thrilled us as they do every year at Seattle Seafair. This is the 6th race of 1987. It is a beautiful sight. And those of you who have never visited Seattle, come out about this time of the year, you're going to fall in love. Love with the trees, the hills, the Cascade Mountain Range, Mount Rainier with its snow-capped majestic mountain peaks, and also the deep blue waters of Lake Washington and the clear skies of Seattle. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it's been a great day. Good day of competition. Some, of course, had engine problems. The winner overall, of course, deserves to win because that's where he started. I cannot still believe that start that Jim Kropfeld made so deep. I thought, where is he going? Everybody was up the bunch. He came on the outside, and like Mel Larson commented a little while ago, he just snaked him right there. They just didn't know where he was coming from, and that's the Bill Munsey trait from years and years ago, and I've seen many of those in my 25 years of broadcasting this sport. Once again, Miss Budweiser averaging 124.5 in the fastest lap number 1 at 138.9. Jim Kropfeld provides Bernie Little with his 61st career victory. Second place went to Miller American with Chip Hanauer. Oh boy, Alberto, and a fine showing by the rookie George Woods in third place finish. Overall, fourth to Miss Rock with another rookie, Jack Berry. Fifth place went to Mr. Pringles, Scott Pierce, the driver, and sixth place went to Miss Sea Galley, Ron Armstrong. And we have a world record for a 2-mile course in lap number 1 at 138.915, a world record for a 2-mile course set by Jim Kropfeld, lap number 1 of this final heat here today. Well, that'll do it. On behalf of Mel Larson, also down in the pit, Mr. Don Poyer, our engineer Eddie Bush, and our producer Terry Jameson back in Detroit. This is Jim Hendrick. So long.
Today's Budweiser Emerald Cup Regatta in Seattle, Washington has been brought to you by Popeye's Famous Fried Chicken. You're going to love that chicken from Popeye's. By Mercury Outboards. With Mercury, the race never stops. By the Colorado Bell Hotel and Casino in Laughlin, Nevada, a circus enterprise. By Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. Hydrofan, this Bud's for you.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week, Knuckleheads. Hope you enjoyed listening to that race broadcast from almost 40 years ago, back in 1987. So many big names in the sport back then. It's really interesting to think back on that time. There was so much money, effort, and so many people in the sport back then. And looking at what we have now, we probably have a better show on the water now. We have boats that were within 10 miles an hour or so in qualifying. There's more parity in the sport. And thinking back to 1987, Miss Budweiser was the top of the class and was at least 30 miles an hour, if not 40 miles an hour, faster than some of the boats at some of the races that year. Anyways, it's always fun for me to go back in nostalgic lane and look at some of those races from years gone by. Now, I've got some interviews planned. I've got some reactions from Seafair. I'm going to catch up with some people and some drivers. I'm looking forward to getting more interviews out to you, the fans, and we're going to have some more fun with the show and got some more fun things on the horizon. In the meantime, don't forget to check us out online at our website, roostertailtalk.com, as well as on social media platforms. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And that's all I got for you today. So until next time, I hope to see you at the races.